So here we have it. We have the Reef Octopus Regal 250 internal. Alright guys, so here we have the Regal 250 internal protein skimmer that's rated for anywhere between 300 and 600 gallons. What I kind of have found odd though is that depending on the website that you go to, you'll get different ratings. And I'll give you an example. Like this one I ordered from saltwateraquarium.com, and I'm gonna pull it up to tell you exactly what it is that it says. So on their site it says 300 to 600. So heavy, they recommend 300 gallons. Medium bioload 500 gallons, and light bioload 600 gallons. And then you go to bulk reef supply and you'll see how that changes. In bulk reef supply they have it at heavy 250, and where saltwater aquarium has it at 300. Medium they have it at 475, where saltwater water aquarium has it at medium bioloads to be 500 gallons. And then they both agree on the light bioload, which is 600 gallons. I almost went with the 300, but I do believe in what they state, which is if you get one that's overpowered, you will not get consistency. And especially if you are using filter socks, then you cut down on that load that the skimmer has to take, because the socks are taking most of that detritus and most of that large particle detritus that gets caught in the sock, and then whatever doesn't get caught in the sock is what then the skimmer will take. So that's something that I do agree with them. It's depending on what you're running in your sump is also how you should determine what type of skimmer you should get. If I didn't have filter socks and I would let it just all run through the overflow straight to the skimmer, then I might have considered the 300. But another reason why I went with the 250 is because the 300 and the 250 both have the Vario 6. So they're pushing the same amount of water, one through a bigger body and one through this smaller body. The difference between both is this is a 10-inch diameter versus the 300 is 12-inch. And so I was just thinking for the size of pump, I just decided to go with the 250. We'll see if this works for me or not. You know, I did have complaints about the skims where I couldn't tune it right. I mentioned in my previous video that I finally was able to tune it and it was actually producing great skim, but by then I had already received this and I already had plans to move that over to the Peninsula and then install this one on the Mega Matrix. So that's the plan. Depending on how the skims works in my Peninsula depends if I'll eventually replace it. At this time, I don't plan on replacing it. I think it's actually going to be perfect for the Peninsula. So this is just pretty much information telling you what a protein skimmer is for, the checklist of parts that you should be looking for. And so anyways guys, I know we're all here to get to the unboxing and setting up. So first we have our gate valve, then we have our air silencer. This is what connects to the pump. Then you have the air silencer, and you have the hoses that will be connected. So we'll get to that here in a minute. Let's get to the good parts here. One thing that I know that people have complained about on this skimmer itself is that it doesn't appear that there's a way to actually disassemble the body. So if you ever wanted to clean inside the body, you're never, I don't see a way of you being able to take this body out. So you're kind of stuck if it gets dirty inside or if you get some kind of algae, but I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm gonna try to see if I can cover up the light from the refugium so it doesn't hit the skimmer as best as possible. But we'll set this aside. The next part to this, of course, is the skimmer cup. Now I am definitely looking forward to this larger skimmer cup. The one on the skims was large, but if you would notice inside of it, and I don't think I showed this on my last video, was you have a lot of gap in here. Versus over there, it was just on one side you have a large gap, and then the sides, because it was rectangle again, or square I think is what the cup is, you had a very slit where I can barely even fit my fingers through. So I like that this is gonna make it easier to clean it all around. The construction of this, the thickness of it, check that out. It's a heavy cup. I was actually thinking that because it was $500 compared to what I wanted, which is the Bubble King by Royal Exclusive, I was thinking, man, that big price difference, so that must mean that maybe the quality of this is not as good. Maybe it's a thin acrylic plastic or something, and so far it's heavy. The lid is heavy too. It just seems very well constructed. So far, guys, I am very happy with this. Last but not least, the Vario 6S pump. So here you have it, guys. I mean, this thing is seriously a beauty. We of course have to put it through its paces to see if it performs as good as it looks, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and install. There's nothing much to it. You notice how it took me a while to put together the other skimmer because of the pump being inside, and so having to disassemble or anything. The initial setup, I think, is going to be longer than the normal one because you have the float switch, you have the hoses you have to connect and all that. This comes with an actual little plastic mount, making it a lot easier to screw it in, and then you know, whenever you need to take it off or pop it back on. That's pretty neat. So we have the power brick, of course. We have the Vario's pump. Pretty heavy. Set this to the side. Now we have our float switch. I can already see just having this float switch, it's a nice feature because if your skimmer cup gets full, like let's say you're on vacation for a week or two and it gets full, you forget to connect it to a waste container or something, then at least it'll shut off the pump, right? Instead of overflow back into your tank. But during maintenance, every time that you have to empty this, I almost feel like it's gonna be a pain because you know that scum gets all inside the cover here. So you know you have to clean this, and having to always deal with this float switch and the cord that's going to be connected to the control that's going to be part of your control board. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about all that. I'm hoping it's not too tough to remove this. The Elite version, it's a screw-on, and I almost wanted to go for the Elite version, but they only have the 220 for the Elite version. But I was hoping that these had some kind of screw-on mechanism versus having to use some force to put it in and then use some force to take it out. See, in this position is easy because I can do this with my thumbs, but while it's in the tank, you're gonna have to, you know, use a different way to try to get this off without spilling everything inside the skimmer cup. Alright, so what's next here is the pump. I don't see any sort of gasket here to make sure that the water doesn't actually come out through the sides there. And I guess it doesn't matter if you have it inside the sump, but I would say that maybe it will lose a small fraction of pressure going in there because it comes out through the side. I'm not sure if it matters or not, but just a thought. So I don't think it even comes with directions, because if you look at this is just telling you how the pump works. Quick start guide to the pump, nothing else. And I didn't see anything that shows you how to assemble this, but I'm just going off pictures that I saw. I do have questions on where these two tubes go to, because I don't think I've seen two tubes on the picture, and one seems smaller than the other. So figure that out in a minute. Oh, talking about a gasket. Here's the gasket that I was referring to. Now I can tell what the other tube is for now. It looks like it would go connected to this right here, to the drain, and then you would have it drain out to a container. So that answers that question. But just to make sure, I am going to read some directions as soon as I find them, if there's any. Here we go. It actually does. Yep, gasket goes there, venturi goes there. And there goes your assembled skimmer. So I'm not going to do anything with this plug yet to drain it to an external collection cup. I'm going to keep this for later use if I need to. As far as this goes, the skimmer is pretty much connected. Now I have to connect it to the controller, and it is a huge skimmer. I mean, I can't deny that. I'm actually very happy with this. Don't know if I would have been as happy with the 300. It would have been about 2 inches bigger. We'll see how it performs. At the end of the day, it's how it performs. The goal now is to clean it up for one and then go install it. So guys, thank you for watching. If you are this far into the video, that means you like my content. If you're not already subscribed, I would appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you a penny. It helps me out, and I would love to continue bringing this type of content. And so if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Hit the like button. It's just right there. Don't forget, like button. I will be installing it either later today or at some point this week. I'll make sure to record it, bring you that on the next video, give you my initial thoughts on it, and go from there. Not sure if anybody has contemplated on buying this. So far, the build quality is very good. I like it. I like the way it looks. It's big. You have to have space in your sump, and as those that have been keeping up with my videos will know that I have plenty of that in my sump. So I went with the external pump because I feel that it will be more efficient, and I feel that maintenance wise it will be a lot easier to clean, especially because the most important part of the skimmer really is the pump. And so that's what I have to keep up with, and I feel like just a quick unscrew, taking this apart, taking it to my sink, washing it, putting it back together will be a piece of cake, guys. Well guys, I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.